Brentwood sounds and then the sort
Good. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to this week's meeting of Essex Business Forum. I'm Amy Squire, I'm your chairman. I try to get you through the agenda as best I can. As always, I'm ably assisted by the leadership team. Those of whom are here, please be upstanding and introduce yourselves.
Good morning, guys. Ben, your education coordinator.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Terry. I didn't remember to become crook. I'm standing in this spot and goes back to figures and all kinds of stuff.
Thank you, both. Please be seated. Let's get into it then. As I say, we're a few short on numbers on the list today, but that doesn't mean we can't make it exciting. It doesn't mean we can't make it interesting, but it doesn't mean we can't make it look as if the lots of us here just keep looking around. The performance league is first, so Scott's able to stand in. Mr. Bailey.
Thank you, David. All of you are a bit like me getting on a bit. I've done a nice simple size one this week. I'm sitting and squinting every week. I've got the long size one if you want it here, but that's the long size Scott one, and I've got so yeah, interesting. We're only 1 week in, but some people have just like gone mad COVID. It's not right. Going the other way up. Third place is young Mr. Barry up there. We've already knocking on. Second place is really honestly one. Jade, who's not here, so she'll knock down the table. But way in the front, I mean way in the front, with 173 points after the first week. Toby.
Thank you very much, Terry. Actually, Terry, in recognition of your heroics last month, I have the Outstanding Performance Award for the Performance League. It's yours.
How long ago?
Round of applause for our right. Education presentation. Benjamin, thank you very much.
Right, good morning, everybody. So be careful what you promise people. What you promise them to do. So I'm going to take you back now. Back to when the Apollo mission astronaut, Neil Armstrong, first walked on the moon. He gave us, as you know, the well-known quote, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." But before he entered the lander, he made one more remark. He said, "Good luck, Mr. Gorski." Now, many people at NASA thought it was a casual remark concerning some rival astronaut. However, upon checking, they found there was no Gorski in either the Russian or the American space program. So over the years, many people questioned him about the "good luck, Mr. Gorski" statement, and each time he remained silent. On July 5th, 1995, in Tampa Bay, Florida, while answering a few questions about his speech, a reporter brought up this 26-year-old question to Armstrong, and he responded that because he believed Mr. Gorski had passed away, he felt that he could finally reveal the answer. When he was a kid, Neil and his brother were playing baseball in their yard, and his brother hit the ball over the wall, and it landed in the neighbour's garden just underneath the bedroom window. The neighbours were Mr. and Mrs. Gorski. So he went round to pick up the ball, and he heard Mrs. Gorski shouting at Mr. Gorski, "Sex? You want sex?" Her reply was, "You'll get sex when the kid next door walks on the moon." So the moral of this story is be careful what you promise people, because you might have to deliver. So you're much better in business to under-promise and over-do there, but also make sure you ask for things that you really want, because you never know, you might get it. So be specific, it's my half free today, be specific about the dream introduction that you would like. Because you never know, somebody else might have that dream reversal for you, but just don't promise them things that you might end up having to give them. Here ended the lesson.
Thank you very much, Ben. Right, next, we've got the membership plan.
Yeah.
Good. The floor is yours.
Yeah, just to let you know, those of you might have been wondering where Corey is. If you haven't seen Corey for a while, Corey was courier. He's not the person that he's dealing with, he's working through them. He is still working, the business is still operating. We've agreed to give him a sabbatical of about 3 months, might be a bit less, probably no more. And hopefully you'll see him back then. So if you want to reach out to him, please feel free to do that. I'm sure he'll be delighted. If you've got any business for him, please feel free to refer it. He's okay, he's just working through things. I'm sure I'll be happy to hear from you. I look forward to seeing his fine and have to pay back in 3 months.
Thanks, Terry. Right. Matt.
Sorry, point of note. Did you realise that this has been ordered in alphabetical order and not in order of performance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
So I'm not third, I'm like last. Like me. I'll do it on
Look at the colours to see the green. Look at the green.
No, but the way they read, it was read out. It was all confusing. And it's written, my simple mind, I couldn't get it.
No, you're very visual.
I was like, all these colours. All right. Oh.
Does that mean I'm not winning?
You're at the top of ever.
Oh,
Your topic is also next.
yeah.
Yes, so that's okay.
I'll do it first and then.
It's all in the numbers, folks. Right. We approach the 60-second round. Your chance in 60 seconds to promote your business and ask for specific referrals. I'm going to send round the little box. Please stick your paperwork in there. I'm also going to send round the business card to make sure you're adequately represented in there and take cards that you might need to make referrals. As those are going round, you will recall that we have our regular bellman who we share a bell now, which is great, cost efficient and saving the bottom of the tree. Let's move on to the actual round itself. Ben, show us how you do it after 50 seconds. And after 60, wrap it up, sit down. Right, okay, so let's get on with the round itself. Paul is the representative of the Naughty Corner, who were the elected winners of the Oscar last week. He will be listening out very, very carefully to everything you say, and we'll be awarding the Oscar at the end of the round. Paul will therefore go first, and he'll be followed by Joshua. Paul.
Morning, Paul Booth from Booth Code, Chartered Space Managers based in Brentwood. Company's House and HMRC are stopping their joint companies online filing service from 31st of March next year, meaning that no one will be able to use the free Company's House filing software. So some people will file their accounts themselves. They won't be able to do that. They'll have to use commercial software. I'm looking for small limited companies, maybe with not a lot of transactions, who probably need an accountant anyway. Please put them my way at Paul Booth from Booth Code, MI's Tax. It's my God.
Thank you very much, Paul. Josh, you're next and you're followed by Matt.
Josh, if you video by 10 minutes today, so yeah, this is me for now, and you'll hear a bit more about me later.
That was 6 seconds.
Well, done, Josh. You could have done something different, but you fine. Yeah, okay. Matt, you're next and you're followed by Mike.
Good morning, everyone. Max from Blue Serif. We like to think it's a company, something northern company that we really go the extra mile. We ensure that the clients are really happy, the standard of work is of a particular level, but also the relationships that we build with the clients. And I always say that I try not to sell my soul to the devil. I think maybe last Friday evening I might just have done. We went along to Essex Cricket with the team and had a very nice time. I was told fairly last minute by our client there, oh, any chance you can help us out with a little bit of a half-time activity. Little did I realise I was on a televised race on the pitch during the interval, dressed as an inflatable burrito. I've done most things in my life, but that was the first. Anyway, that's the sort of lengths that we go to, so thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Mike, you're followed Toby.
I'm very disappointed you didn't post that on the group chat.
It's all coming out. There's a whole article being written about it.
Right, Mike from Black Multimedia. I'm going to follow up by saying thank you to Matt, actually. I don't want to count my chickens before I hatched and all that sort of thing, but you passed me a referral for the funeral director recently. I just wanted to use it as an example of what is really a perfect referral to me, because they're looking to update their website, modernise it, they want to put a load of information on there, so I'm going to try and put together a whole load of different videos into like sort of an FAQ style page. From that, we're also going to take out like the really nice shots, put it together into sort of a header for the website video, and yeah, it's just kind of developed into what I think could be a really good resource for them. They're trying to modernise the whole idea of how funeral directors work, and people can come to their website and learn about things and not be nervous about it, understand how the process works. So we're sitting down at the moment, we're putting together sort of storyboards of how the shots are going to work and things like that. Trying to plan the time because we want to do various different things and how to best fit it all in. But yeah, if you're looking to know of any companies just want to update, modernise their website, fill it with new useful content to draw people in, send them my way. It's Mike from Black Multimedia. Thank you.
Big one, Toby, you're followed by Sarah.
Morning everybody, I didn't get to bed until like 2-3 o'clock, so I haven't got anything prepared. So I'll just remind you of what I do. Toby Action, Proposition Business Solution, Personal Business Mentor. I basically help business owners become wealthy faster. I help them get from where they are to where they want to be as quickly as possible. It generally comes down to 3 things: clarity, direction and focus. And in my experience, most business owners that are struggling or that are wanting to expand are missing one of those 3. Clarity, direction and focus. Sometimes 2 of them, sometimes all 3 of them. It's about having a crystal clear vision of what you want your business to do, reverse engineering that into a directional plan, and then keeping focused, keeping on track. So if you know anybody that's missing clarity, direction or focus in their business, or God forbid, all 3, then please do put me through. It's Toby Action, Proposition Business Solutions, getting a business on track and putting you in a winning position. Peace.
Yes, you have, but even after no sleep, it's still like a Gatling gun. Well, Gatling gun. Right, Sarah, you're next and you're followed by Nick.
Hi everybody, Sarah Smith, Orbital Assistant Services. This week I want to talk about charities and not-for-profits who are, I think, underrepresented often at networking. Often they've got a big burden of admin compliance coordination that eats into their overstretched resources, or they rely on people for whom that's not necessarily one of their best skills. So I have a flexible experience support, obviously, without the possible commitment of hiring a permanent member. So if you know anybody who's a CEO of a charity, perhaps you help out with one, an operations lead, or a trustee who's just juggling too much and could do with some support, project coordinates, governance admin, or any meeting preparation, research or funding, anything really, I'd really be happy to support them at a discount, obviously. Charities is really where I'd like to broaden some of my client base. So just, be looking to bear me in mind. Sarah Smith, Orbital Assistant Services, support that revolves around.
Following Toby, you need you to pick up your speed as well. Right, Nick, you're next, and you're followed by John.
Okay, well, good morning. I'm a structural engineer. I'm looking this morning for something different. Not just taking the walls down and building an extension or lock conversion. Something that the client wants to do, like create a huge opening in the rear wall, then, or seriously wide bifold doors. Perhaps an opening that goes around the corner. Perhaps even without a corner closing. Client might want to create a vaulted ceiling in their bedroom, where it goes like this, and perhaps put a pointy window in the back wall, which goes right up to the ceiling. That seems to be quite the thing these days. It all requires a bit of careful structural design, but I feel for something clever like that, I will need to engage the services, or at least recommend to my client that they engage the services of Leanne, our interior designer, or John, our architect, for some of the fine points. I just need beams and steel work. I'll make sure it stands up, not what it looks like. This is where you guys come in. That's it, nickcook.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. John, you're followed by Clara.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry I haven't been here for the last couple of weeks. I've been logistically all over the place. I spent the last couple of weeks working in Hatton Gardens in a jewellery shop there, fitting 4 fire doors to a staff area because they failed their fire assessment and were going to get heavily fined. And we've got to go back and fit another 3 or 4 as well. So I've been busy doing that one. And also I've been training for a year, which is amazing. I'm still going. Yeah. It's been a struggle. I'm not going to lie. I had an idea that when I started I'd be making thousands of pounds each month and I'll be laughing, and it quite works out that way. But I think through meeting everyone here and perseverance, it's definitely on the way up, and it's been a great year. So I look forward to year number 2, and I'll give you an update next year for how it's going. Thank you very much.
You're still laughing, aren't you?
I'm always laughing.
Right, thanks, John. Laura, you're followed by someone who's... Yes, Darren.
Yeah, Laura Downton Mortgages and Financial Services. I was actually chatting to John on the way here this morning, and we were talking about 2 pieces of work that I was working on last night, which are mortgage capacity statements. And it's something I don't actually advertise, but I do. But the solicitors come to me and refer their clients where they're getting divorced and they need to get an indication of what they might be able to borrow. And basically I do the same job as I would do for a new mortgage client. I understand what their situation is, and then I run all the numbers and put together a report which basically says this is what you could potentially borrow, this is what the costs look like. And then the solicitors and the courts decide who gets what out of the divorce. So if you know anyone who's going through divorce and they potentially need a mortgage capacity statement, it is something that I can help with, so feel free to send people my way. So yeah, it's just another thing that I do for clients. That's Clara Downton Mortgages and Financial Services.
Thank you very much, Clara. Darren, you're next, and you're followed by Nick.
Good morning, everyone. Darren from Hartsfield Impact, and I was at Brentwood Borough Council's economic launch strategy for 5 years yesterday. 2 big takeaways, and the lower Dartford crossing is now open to register your business interest, whatever your business may do, not just about construction. They have a £50 billion budget, spending 8 years in Kent and Essex. So go and check it out, get involved. All you've got to do is register your interest, put your name down, and there's extent work throughout communities. That's the first thing. Second thing, the priority for Brentwood over the next 5 years is sustainability, innovation, and digital. Business is a hub in the county or in development. They're putting money into training and they're putting money into businesses. And there will be grants potentially available and coming through later this year. So I'm looking for people who want to be part of that journey, business culture transition, and I can help you get there and consume. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Darren. Blake, you're followed by Ben.
Morning, everyone. This week, I'm looking for some help in finding people who need anything, really. Smokes, whether they're going camping, I can supply camping gear, ration packs, hiking boots, anything like that. If you know anyone that's going out and about, you can point me in my direction, I'll be very grateful. And also, if you can help me share all of the posts I put out on all the socials, that would be really helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Blake. Asking that why, Ben, you're followed by Leanne.
Thank you very much. So, excuse me. Good morning, everybody. Ben Gilding from Utility Warehouse, and I help people to save money their essential household utilities. So it's Wimbledon. So let me serve up a fixed deal for you. It's an ace tariff below the July cap and will net you great savings, and you'll definitely want to make a racket about it to all your friends. Now you may be thinking, you cannot be serious, but we have helped over 1.3 million families already to take advantage of the Simplicity savings and Championship savings. And the ball's in your court, but I can tell you with our cashback card in your kit bag, you'll smash it. Just like I did last month, and where it paid for my broadband. Love! So, sit back with your strawberries and cream and new pins, and I'll show you how you can help the people you care about and take advantage, because it will be game, set, and match to UW. That's Ben Golding, Utility Warehouse.
Ouch!
Yeah!
Oh, anybody else have breath? Yep. Thank you, Ben. Leanne, follow that, and Catherine.
I might as well sit down because it's boring. So I just wanted to explain that my designs are more than just picking paint colours and furniture for your home. For me, it's personal. I'll take the time to get to know you, your family, and even your pets. Your home should work for you and reflect your personality. I think about everything from the layout, lighting, and overall flow to sourcing all the details, the flooring, the fixtures, the furniture, even light switches. I will provide samples and 3D visuals to you so you can see how it will all work together before you actually do the work. I'll handle the ordering, the liaising with trades, the solving problems before they come to you. And I'll oversee every detail to make sure that the design is done to a high standard. When it's finished, I style the space down to the cushions, and I'll also provide care guides so you feel confident maintaining that perfect space. So to me, your home isn't a project, it's personal. That's Leanne at Brooklyn Interiors.
Thanks, Leanne. Always after where the cat flap should go. Catherine, you're followed by Terry.
Catherine Foley, English Tutor Plus. So I'm going to be, excuse me, wrong in my throat. I'm going to be doing some writing for Joshua's website. He'd like me to write his case studies for him, which is exactly the sort of work that I would like to sort of develop and build up. So because of that, I've decided to have an extra name. So as well as being English Tutor Plus, I'm now going to be English Writer Plus as well, because that sounds a little bit better for recommendations for that. So and Matt's going to do me a lovely logo, a bought domain name, so that's great. So to mark the start of this, I'm going to reduce my hourly rate for EBF members for the first 3 weeks of August. So I'm usually £65 an hour, but it'll be £55 an hour. So if any of you have any articles you want to add to your website, any marketing material that you need rewriting, and you'd like a human writer, please, instead of AI, please contact me. That's just the first 3 weeks of August. I go on holiday into a second. Right, that's Catherine Foley, English Tutor Plus and English Writer Plus.
Thank you, Catherine. Terry, you're next, and you're followed by John Hammond.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. In the absence of Paul Corrigan, I thought I'd give you some 10 top tips to make sure you get paid. So the first one, these are all really obvious, by the way, but very easy to overlook. The first one is make sure that you've got your customer's full name and address on the invoice that you're rendering. You'd be amazed how many don't even have the full name, let alone the address. Sometimes it might be an email address, sometimes it might be a nickname, it's just horrendous. Anyway, that's really, really important. Because when I sue, that's what's got to go on the claim form, the details are on the invoice. The second one is when your invoice becomes due, overdue, chase it up promptly, leave it months, several months and longer, you've got less chance of getting your money for lots of reasons I won't bore you with today. Come see me after, but the longer you leave an invoice, chase it up, the less chance you've got of getting paid. And the last one is if it's not paid on time after you've chased it, instruct me to go after it for you, because I'll pay you compensation and interest and I will get your money back. If the money's available, I'll get it back. Don't leave it and don't procrastinate. And there's 3 top tips to Terry to your blog.
Thanks, Terry. John Hammond is followed by Paul. You.
Good morning, everybody. I want to talk to you about intruder alarms, mate. We can offer all types of intruder alarms, but specifically we can offer portable intruder alarms. So if you've got a mobile home ditched in a camping site somewhere, we can put an intruder alarm into that. and you'll get notifications on your phone to say that someone's broken in or something's moved in there, and then you get pictures of what's going on. But that also applies to rented accommodation. If you rent set premises out, whether it's a home or a commercial building, if it's rented, you can put a temporary alarm in there, and you'll get the notifications to your phone. And it's really dead simple to do. And we can offer all of that with a really nice compact intruder alarm. So if you need an intruder alarm, give us a shout. That's John Hammond, JMX Technology, applying technology to security.
Thank you very much, John. Paul, you're next, and you will follow the final read.
Good morning, everyone. Paul with the Essex Celebrants. We help you celebrate and commemorate life's milestones. I had an interesting conversation with a lady this week who said to me, "Look, you do funerals then, we want to get married. How do you weigh out those two things? They're so very different." The reality is they're not. From my perspective, each, whether it's a funeral, a wedding, or a memorial service, or the opening of or baby's christening, whatever, every ceremony I produce has the same components. There's the entrance, the welcoming, there's elements of ceremony, there's readings, there's music, there's speeches, there's kind of the nub of it, which is the celebration or the commemoration, and then there's the way the exit. And the reality is actually, yeah, I've done lots of funerals, I've got 2 weddings in the pipeline at the moment, but if you can actually do all of those things for a sad occasion like a funeral, then actually transferring them to a wedding is pretty straightforward, because actually the people you're dealing with the wedding are alive and you can actually ask them what they want. Anyway, so if you've got any life events coming up, or you know anybody that's got any life events coming up, please let me know, and I would love to be there to actually put their ceremony together. All the Essex celebrates.
Thank you, Paul. NDAs, packet initializations, non-disclosure agreements. Now that wasn't too difficult, was it? The Employment Rights Act is likely to include restrictions on non-disclosure agreements in relation to sex discrimination. The Harris case is probably what's prompt to do. And that seems reasonable and fine. But in employment law, we use NDAs an awful lot in settlement agreements. And it's just to protect both parties and keep confidential items of settlement that might be relevant to either of them, and to keep it confidential. So it's another flag of what is going to come up when the Employment Rights Act bill becomes the Act. It's another of those things where they might be throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Another reason for you to come and see me, Ayettey Squire at TM Law, to help get advice as to the effect of the new Act when it comes in and when we know more as to what is going to be involved. That's Ayettey Squire from TM Law. And that is the end of the 62nd round. Paul?
Yeah, some very good ones there. Sarah, yours was very good. Thank you. Nick, you actually had a change of costume as well. You've stepped on with a shirt. Both branded the same brand, which is really good. So, and of course, 60 seconds as well. Darren, yours was good as well. Mike, you very nearly won it. You were even though you were second or third, you were very good. But the winner has to go to Ben.
Oh.
Do you mean I dressed up as a burrito?
I did.
You do it again next week, Matt. Yeah.
Right, well, thank you very much, Paul. Well done, Ben, for the most extended metaphor we've ever. He was positively drooling. Right, okay, we move on. Moving on means the meeting secretary's report. Moving on means Terry standing in and telling us we've gone
Very much. Yeah, thanks for all your bits of paper. Hopefully you are recording these or have recorded these on the UBS website, because if you don't, you won't get points. Just briefly today, we've got 11 referrals and pretty good business cards, 21,328 good customers this week. So well done, keep it up.
Thank you very much, Terry. Right, we now approach the second largest part of the meeting, or important part of the meeting, that's the 10-minute presentation.
Today, surprise, surprise, we have Joshua from JADC Studios, of which he's the owner and the principal architect. The nature of the business is architecture and based around Essex and east of England and London. So, a couple of bits about Joshua. So, I would say don't come to Frinton too much there. This is the what happens to you. An embarrassing moment that happened to Joshua was on the beach. Now, he loves the beach, except for seagulls. What happened? Seagull poo right in Joshua's ear. However, 5 minutes later, a second seagull decided to poo on Joshua's neck. So literally get loads of drinkers. However, a well-known problem that needs fixing: seagulls. It hits you first. Something that winds Joshua up: seagulls. A dish he can cook well. Would like to try seagulls because his chicken wings are on point. So bring your hands together, please, for Joshua.
I would probably already well. Just want to remind you this 10-minute presentation starts in there. Oh, right, so yeah. Okay. So, right, there we go. So I've done a 10-minute presentation before where I've talked about what the business does, and I just thought I would use this 10 minutes to just give you a bit of a background about me and my journey, how I got into architecture, and yeah, so this is an opportunity for you to meet Joshua, meet me, and I'll go into a bit more detail about some of the images that are on this slide. But before the whole architecture journey, there was a completely different journey, and that was basketball. Basketball was my passion, and that was what I was actually pursuing as a career. I would say I've gained a lot of things from basketball. I've gained a work ethic from basketball, and yeah, believe it or not, I had an opportunity to potentially go to America to play for the club. They say the dream to play professional basketball, but as many people will know, America has an insane talent pool, and it's not very clear if I would have made it. But it was a very, very good experience nonetheless. So how it all began. For me, my journey to architecture began at college. I didn't, after sort of having to say goodbye to basketball, didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I had left school with 2 GCSEs, so I had to work really hard to get into a position where I could go to university. So I was at college, loved college, because it was just a bit less formal than the whole sixth form environment. And at college I had the wonderful opportunity to do a course in 3D design, where I found that I had a love for model making. And model making's really cool, because although in practice I can't really do a lot of model making, actually making the building in miniature, it helps you get a real understanding of how the spaces work. And I found that I had a real sort of three-dimensional understanding. I was able to think about things in 3D, and that sort of started there. I guess the passion, you could say. Now another passion of mine is my lovely wife. So my wife Katie definitely shown her commitment to me. She met me when I started my training 13 years ago now, and she's still with me, despite seeing the highs, the lows, all the crazy that came with sort of studying architecture. I just wanted to include some wedding photos, as it was my 7th marriage anniversary on Monday. Here's some sort of pictures from our wedding. Now here is my sort of first part of my training. As I said, it's taken 13 years for me to sort of complete the architectural training, and this was my experience at Nottingham University. I just want to point out this particular project here. So a lot of people don't realise the sort of mad sort of projects that they get us to do at university, and they often wonder, why does it take so long to become an architect? Well, this project here was a live project in the Thamesmead area in London, and it was next to an aspect of the Thames which was quite dirty. We had to reimagine the future of housing, try and imagine how could people live in the future, what could affordable housing look like. And I came up with a scheme where it was a sort of a community housing project. People would be encouraged to work together. I wanted to be able to clean the water, and I wanted people to be able to live sort of self-sufficiently. And so I sort of looked at a method called aquaponics, where you sort of grow water using food, no soil. And I worked out the actual aquaponic process. And because of the fact that it uses fish, there's an element of it which would naturally, there would be a byproduct where the water would be purified. So there was a lot of sort of, architecture is a very holistic subject, and we're encouraged to look at so many different subject areas apart from building design itself. And as a result, we get architects leaving architecture school believing that they can save the world. And that's what we do believe until we get into practice. It's quite funny, you're just going to do what the police do, and that's it. I had a really good time at uni, and I still played a bit of after as well. Here is just the sort of snapshot of so Nottingham Trent is where I did my degree, South Bank is where I did my master's, and then I finished my diploma at the Royal Institute of British Architects, and that's me being president of the RIBA. Very proud moment, because I really didn't think I'd get there. I think I've tried to quit at least 4 times over that 13 years, but persevered, and here I am now. And so I'll just briefly now just talk about the different work experience that I've done. I've been very privileged to work for 4 different architects. So it started off with this practice that was based in Fulham, and it was a real sort of, now I actually worked unpaid because it was very competitive to try and get a job, especially in London, but it was just really rich experience. I got to work with the University of East London. I got to work with a celebrity client, which was pretty cool, and I got to be involved in sort of development projects as well. And it's experiences like this which have really sort of helped to establish my foundations. Moving on from there, I worked for a healthcare practice, and this is sort of this was taken from a project that I did for Charing Cross Hospital. So I got to be heavily involved in the redesign of their ears, nose, and throat sort of department, and it's amazing. This yellow, it took 3 months to find the perfect yellow, because we have to find a yellow that would work with people who, so when you've got any sort of eye seeing difficulties, black text on yellow is really important. So when an architect is choosing yellow, it can't just be any yellow, it's got to be a yellow that's going to be aesthetic as well. So I was running around the office like a bad man, looking at yellow in different lights in the office, and that was quite a nice experience. I just got to move quite quick. And this here is the experience I did with an architect in Sheffield. What I really gained from this practice was just, there were a few opportunities where I got to compete with the owner in terms from a design point of view, and these projects I've included because they were ones where the client chose my design over my boss's design, and that was just a real sort of, it was experiences like this that showed me I was a lot more qualified than I realised, and I potentially had a good sort of career ahead of me. And this would be the last practice I worked in before setting up my own company. I got exposed to high sort of net worth clients, designing massive houses, crazy budgets, people who could spend like 20 grand on a sofa, that sort of crazy stuff. Lots of good fun. And I'll end with just a slide on sort of Oh, I don't know what happened there. I'm not rebranding.
So your international branch.
So now over the last sort of 2.5 years, it's been JADC Studio, working with my own clients, building my own sort of portfolio, and I guess growing in my interest as well. Because I would be honest, I get asked a lot, what's your favourite type of architecture? And honestly, I do not know. I'm sort of open to working with anyone who just wants to add value to their property or land, and hopefully over time we'll begin to carve out a path where it's like, this is what I enjoy. But yeah, that's my presentation for today.
What would be your dream project?
I think my dream project would be one where, with the client, there's it's a collaborative relationship. So they've got their idea of what they want to do, and it doesn't really matter what their sort of budget is, but there's the opportunity to sort of partner with them and to think ahead. I'm interested in housing. I would love to solve the housing crisis, or at least bring something to it. I've always liked the idea of, from an affordable housing point of view, trying to come up with a type of housing where the residents in the housing, if they've got low sort of income, then maybe there's an element where, let's say there are shops below and some of them are working in the shops. And so they're earning money, and that's then going back into the maintenance of the housing. It's going towards the actual cost of the housing. It's like the circular economy, more than one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
You mentioned at the beginning of your 10 minutes you used to make models, people understand. I've done the same. So I know what you mean. And it really helps you get into the building.
Yeah.
Presumably you use some very clever computerized modelling nowadays.
Yeah, so you use 3D sort of modelling. Well, it's not quite the same, because I think with a model, what I love, you can hold it from different angles. I think even when they do, often with big schemes, they do consultations where they invite the public in to have a look. And when you can see a big model, when you can look at it bird's eye and all that, it's just, it's quite a powerful way of looking at it. Yes,
Have you come across the dilemma yet between your design and your thoughts and what you want, and then what the client actually wants and what they can afford? Because on the TV programs where there's well-known architects, you see them, they design these lovely schemes and then the client just can't afford it, so then they're disappointed because they have to go to How do you deal with that?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. I think I've found, having worked in practices where that happens quite a lot, an approach I've started to adopt is, at the early stages, I give my clients the exact option they were asking for, exactly what they asked for. I draw it up, and now I sort of say, right, and now I want to show you an option. If money was no object for any reason, or let's say this is what else you could do. And then what I've found is that sometimes they're able to take bits from that idea and bring it into their idea, and we're able to discover whether that works. But that's not always how it goes. Sometimes, you get to site and a wall that you thought was solid isn't solid, or something that you thought was built the right way isn't quite, and you've got to compromise. And so
Who's the biggest blame of your life? Structural engineers that say you can't build it, or quantity surveyors that say you can't afford it?
Both. Haven't decided.
On a similar vein, there's quite a lot of sort of stages, like you go from meeting the client, sort of brainstorming ideas, doing drawings, CAD drawings, follow everything engineering. I say, what's the bits you enjoy most out of it, and what's the bits you outsource and get rid of for someone else that you treated the process?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. I know when I worked in practice, I really liked the technical sort of aspect. And that was partly because I found when it was at the early stage of design, there was so much that you could do that I felt I was a bit all over the place. But now that it's my own practice and I'm doing it I'm finding actually I really enjoy the early stage design stuff because we're sort of exploring what the possibilities. Technical stuff is getting a bit, I think it's getting very onerous. Understandably, there's now a lot more regulation than there used to be, and a lot more responsibility. So it's just a lot more pressure. And then I also really like being on site. So I'm finding I'm having to make a bit of a switch where I'm having to explore outsourcing some of the bits that I really like because I can't afford to outsource the bit that if that goes wrong, then yeah, I want to have a company. So I hope that answers.
Really? Yeah. Joshua, thank you very much indeed for an excellent seminar. Don't get too comfortable. Oh yes, company do the running. Paul, we'll kick off with you the referrals and testimonials round.
Yeah, thanks, Ben for the lot really good. Thank you for work being doing for us as well. Really good, thank you. And I thought that was the best finish of the year so far. So thank you for that. And yeah, next 10 minutes, can you spin a basket or wine? Once a month related to Terry and a couple of thank you notes for these.
Excellent, 10 minutes. And I really like when you mentioned about collaboration because we used an architect for an extension a number of years ago, and I felt it was his way or the highway. And with that, the highway or the best way. Yeah, that was the film with Mike. I'm really pleased to hear that they are coming on. I think that could be one of those sort of times that filters into a lot of members.
Yeah,
we've got
exactly. Yeah.
So Paul's working with them as well.
Well, I was actually going to ask you about whether you could do some room for video eventually. So
And then a thank you to the money to Paul. Your employers have splashed the cash. A lot of them were over too many on there. So we need to get 10 off, isn't it? So yeah, thanks to the other one. Enjoy the sunshine.
You can probably tell from my height, I used to be an international basket player. So I know it's funny, still got it. Great meeting, great presentation. Thank you very much, everyone. And just a lovely one-to-one with Leanne. Fabulous colours and materials this week. And have a wonderful week and day, everyone.
Really brilliant meeting, as always. Excellent, brilliant thing. You're so good at presenting.
Oh.
Anything like that. And thank you for your comments. We work well together. Since you've got to make, I recommend it. Thanks to you, you've done the same for me. So it's a good relationship. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking how good your credits was. I was just thinking about your 60 seconds. So both of them, and that was a really good 10 minutes, mate. It's good. Just your passion for it comes across so much, and I feel so we had a one-to-one as well. And it's really fascinating industries. Yeah, I'm really glad it's all going well. And I've just got a very quick referral to Blake for some bulbs.
Really good head start. I have to remember primarily what's under promise and still under deliver.
Yeah.
So that's on my to-do list. And of course, love being 10 minutes. And I know that you've overcome some challenges. It's really inspiring job client. Absolutely love finding out more about you and having a photo gallery as well behind. I love that. So I've had a tough week this week, no slips for me. So I'm recovering generally. So happy week, everybody. Thank you for making me laugh today. So I love fun. It always puts a smile on my face. So have a lovely week. I'll see you.
I've known you for about nearly a year now, which is crazy. It's gone really fast, but you always come across so passionate in your 60 seconds and in your 10 minutes. This is your second one, as Tim said. Yeah, I'm really fortunate to be in both of them. So Yeah, you're a lovely guy. I wish you all the best, and it is great to see you doing so well. And it's a shame about the basketball thing. Do you wish you'd sort of that had sort of gone somewhere, or are you happy with what you're doing now?
Well, I mean, I'm happy. Yeah. I mean, it's get to a point where you really push so much that it's no longer it's a fucking job.
Yeah.
Like, you play it, but I think you play it well. But when you got to play it like as a job, it's a different. I actually really admire any athlete who's
Absolutely. It's next level, isn't it? It is. Sorry, great head slot, and well done for your 60 seconds. That's amazing as always. I've got a thank you for the money for Corey, but obviously he's not here. And just thank you, Terry, for your referral. Hopefully that will go in a couple of weeks. Oh, that's it. Yeah, absolutely. I'll just keep the ball in. I had a referral from Howard. He's not here, but obviously we worked on his doors last week. And I'll see you all next week, hopefully.
Brilliant 10 minutes. We had a fun one a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, you're passionate what you do, and you deserve a club spirit. It was great to see sort of a bit of backstory and so forth. Wish you every success. Brilliant 10 minutes. The lesson I took for that is never make a promise.
Unfortunately, he was in weddings.
I don't know why making a promise. Just sort of like promise. Yeah, well done with the 60 seconds. Brilliant meeting, thank you. It's funny, everyone that either advertised with or tickets, partial tickets for the school fair, raised £4,500. Really good. Thanks everyone.
Yeah, great meeting, great 10 minutes, great next slot, and great 60 seconds. Next week we have a pun on the women beating Evans 4-0. When do you see you next week?
Yeah, well done, Ben. It's always worth reminding people of that. And it is an important lesson, really. All goes inside. It's really important. We promise you earth and don't deliver it. You really should. So thank you for reminding us. And yeah, Joshua, great. I had a referral for Joshua last week, and I hope it's going to turn into something really long-term relationship. And the client said to me, "Oh, how do you know me? How long have you known me?" I couldn't believe it. He said, "I've known him a year now." It's amazing how time goes. But hopefully that'll turn into something really good. And you, I think you will get on really well. So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Referral for John, it's already a done deal.
Yeah, thank you.
Sort them out, break the doors down.
Thank you.
And yeah, good one-to-one with Paul and Tony. Thank you.
Won't have to trouble you running. I've got a couple of referrals, but neither of them are here. I can rate forward corridors along sorting me out my border, and it's all very, very efficient. And James is helping with the sound insurance. So, and I have a one-to-one as well. I was struck by your 10 minutes. You went into it wanting to save the world, and then found that in practice it didn't work out like that. The advantage of being a lawyer is you never think you're going to save it, and therefore you're never disappointed. It's an excellent 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And then we had our one-to-one. We had a good afternoon sitting in the sunshine at Brentwood High Street.
No seagulls.
No seagulls. And it wasn't the seagulls yesterday. We had millions and millions of ladybirds. Literally, I looked up the street and I was covered in ladybirds. It was actually a biblical time. Yes. Yeah. Literally covered them. But no, Josh, that was brilliant. But next time we'll make sure you're behind the seagulls from you as well. So absolutely superb. So well done. Had a one-to-one with Deanne. And one time with Paul C before he went away. Got a thank you for the money there for Toby, therefore training some of your team on hunting. Yeah, on how to present. So yeah, thank you very much for that. Look forward to doing that. I've got a referral there for Sarah. He's like this what I'm seeing here next Wednesday. So. I'll try and link you up in person as well for the insurance company needs a bit of help. Referral there for Jane, who's away. So she some gift cards and somebody in the team wants to know where I said get the little gift cards out. So once they thank everyone for donating for the week walk as well. And I know it's like literally 3 weeks on Saturday, so yes, you'll be very scared. So and Matt, if you do wear that next week, then it might explain you. But great meeting. I'll see you next week.
Fantastic meeting, excellent 10 minutes. You mentioned cleaning up Thames Mead, still needs it. Yeah, I used to live there, still got property there. Superb. Excellent. Superlative 60 seconds. And a referral.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for training. A referral to Darren, David's tender assist.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And a referral to Sarah. Anik. That. Please for you. I won't be here next week. I will be, this time next week, I will be arriving-ish in Portsmouth to see the Mariners.
I thought you were going to say Portsmouth or something. Nah, it's Portsmouth.
I was about to go see it, so.
And that was really fantastic, 10 minutes, and I'm really working with you and learning more. And as fantastic. I loved your stop, but then you obliterated your 60 seconds. I love it. It's mental. It's brilliant. I've got 2 referrals to Matt, who was after school contacts for various marketing things. So there's one from the head of sixth form at Brentwood High School, and one weirdly from my ex-husband, who's a careers advisor at Essex Academy. But they're both expecting to hear from you. Thank you.
Yeah, James, great ASOP. We always try to under-promise and over-deliver, and that's what we do. Keep getting referrals to clients. Just get back. Wait 10 minutes. We really know what you're talking about. And I'd love to work with you on some commercial projects. I think we can do some good things together. So, I've got a fractional money for Blake, for Dave, locally next year as well. So I'll let Blake have that. And I'll see you all next week.
Great meeting. Good start, Ben. Well done. And again, 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant, Joshua. And obviously we're looking forward to that collaboration and that. So fingers crossed it all comes off. It's been great so far. I've really enjoyed it. So I've had a one-to-one with Darren and a one-to-one with Ben. I won't bother penning them out. But I'll see you all next week.
Yeah, great. Well, he was nervous about it, but he did a really great job. It's so great to hear more about you as a person as well as business. So brilliant. And yes, fabulous as ever. Well deserved Oscar there. I've got a thank you for the money for Aidan. Took a while to get there, but I think hopefully we're there in the end. Yeah, I don't think I'll be here next week. I think Shannon will be here because she got back from holiday today, so she misses you guys. I might come along. But yeah, see you all next week.
Right, don't have anything this week. Last week I had a referral for Leanne. Hopefully it works out well in my country. And yeah, great Ed slot. Really enjoyed today's meeting and see everyone next week.
Right, Josh, you go sit down.
Oh yes.
Pick a referral, anyone you like.
Should we to the right?
What's always in your favour?
I think I had 3 out of 11. Yeah, okay, alright, go get a house.
Yeah.
Oh, I think so.
You can treat it for
Yeah. We need to look after it. Right, Joshua, thank you very much indeed. Doing the running, doing the everything. Thank you very much. Well done. Right, we come towards the end. I'd be over-promising if I said it would be a glorious week to come and we should go out and we're all going to have a great week, but I think we probably will. Anybody got any announcements they wish to make to the meeting? Nick?
You mentioned the invasion of the ladybirds, Ben. Do you know the collective term for ladybirds?
No.
Anyone? The loveliness.
I love it.
They loved it. They weren't lovely yesterday, I can tell you that. Right?
I only know that because it was a crossword clue.
I love that. So collective now, and an abstract now.
It's a beautiful 3D.
Something else. I've got a 9 o'clock slot in Coxley Green at the Neologist site. And I'm dropping off a load of stuff, including 5 huge cardboard boxes, which have been in my attic for like 25 years. They were used for, they're like teacher-sized cardboard boxes. Took me a week to get rid of them. But if anybody wants them, you can have them. If not, they're going to be consigned to the tip. They're being recycled, so you can.
Cool. Okay. Right. Thank you. Thank you, Nick. Anybody else with any contributions?
One,
No.
just following up from Scott's travel thing last week about if you'd like to find out what your carbon impact is from driving here, but a couple of people come back, it'd be great to see a few more of you. All you've got to do is fill that in for me, send it back to me, I'll work out what your carbon impact is, and you've got a chance to plant some lovely trees and blue beds for years. But yeah, it'll be all right.
I noticed, Darren, that you walked here.
I do walk.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not going to walk. But,
yes,
You need to leave now.
yeah. It's just the Scottish if you live on farm. Okay, well, look, it's been a great meeting. We were relatively small in number, but nonetheless, it was an excellent meeting. It was a great presentation, which set the tone, which was really nice. I'm sending you out there into the beautiful weather. Hope you have a good week. Hope to see you all and more next year.